I'm going to go over two word problems with you, and this is on your handout from Monday, practice solving equations with variables on both sides, and we had some word problems. And so I'm going to go over 5 and 7, and then you can do the rest, and we'll have some more practice on the following class day. So our first word problem, I'm going to underline important information, circle what we're trying to find. So let's read it through. It says a taxi costs $7 when you hop in the cab, plus it costs $5 for each mile. If the total charge for the taxi ride was $33.50, how many miles did you travel? So let's underline important information. So taxi costs $7 when you hop in. So that's just like an initial cost. And then it costs $5 a mile. And then total charge for the cab ride is $33.50. We want to know how many miles did you travel. So we have to first of all define our variable, come up with our unknown. And what we're trying to find here is how many miles did you travel. So how about we let that be m. So m will equal miles traveled. Let's put travel. All right, so the miles you travel, well, you go $5 each mile. So we know we'll do $5 times m, plus we also have a $7 charge. And so that's our total charge. And notice that's how we find our total charge. We would add all that up. And notice we have the total charge is $33.50. So that is our equation because both of these sides are the total charge. This is exactly how much, and this is how you calculate it. So once we get our equation set up, then it's just a two-step equation. So now we're going to, first of all, subtract $7 from both sides because that was our initial cost. So let's get rid of that, and then we can see how much it'll cost per mile after we get rid of the 7. So we're going to subtract 7, so we have 50 cents left over, and that's going to be $26.55. And the 7s are gone, or the 7 is gone, so I'm left with 5m plus 0, or just 5m. That's a 5. Now I'm going to divide 5 on both sides. So m will equal, and if you do that, you're going to get 5.3 exactly. So it's going to be 5 3/10 miles. And the good thing about that on your trip odometer, it does have tenths of a mile on there. All right, and then number 7 on the next page. Number 7 says a plumber, or is that the one I said I was going to do? Yeah. Okay. So the plumber in number 8 charged Mrs. Stevens $100 to go to her house to check the plumbing problem, and he charged her $75 an hour for labor. She checked out another plumber that charged a flat rate of $125 per hour. Find the number of hours for which the cost of the two plumbers would be the same. All right. So first of all, we got to go back up here and actually do number 6. I didn't realize that, but that's okay. Okay, so he charged me $100 to go to my house to check the plumbing. So that's like the initial cost, just like the cab. He charged me $75 an hour for labor and parts used to repair, and parts used for the repair cost. Oh, okay, let me start that over. And the parts used for the repair cost $27.50. The total bill was $315. How many hours did the plumber work on her plumbing? So I'm just going to get this real quick. So our total charge would be 100 plus 75, and it's how many hours did he work? So that's going to be our H. So $75 per hour, so that'll be 75 times H, plus the $27.50 for parts. All that will be the total charge, and total charge is $315. So now we want to solve, so we can combine our constants, which is $127.50 plus 75H equals $315. So now I'm going to subtract $127.50 from both sides. And when I subtract, I get 187.50. And on the other side, I get 75H. And when I divide both sides by 75, the number of hours is 2.5. So it's 2.5 hours that he worked on my plumbing. Okay, so now we've got the plumber in number 8. Okay, and that's just telling what happened here. Okay, when I checked out another plumber, they charged a flat rate of $125 per hour. So find the number of hours for which the cost of the two plumbers would be the same. Okay, so we need to find the number of hours. So again, we've got H, and we know he charges me $125 per hour. No, flat rate of $125 per hour, yes. Okay, now we don't know what his total charges are, but that's not what we're trying to find. We want to find the number of hours for which the cost of the two plumbers would be the same. So if this is the cost of, I'm going to call him plumber 2, PL2, let's set that equal to, we'll find where they are the same. We have to set their charges equal. So the charge for plumber 1 is, I'm going to use this equation, 127.50 plus 75H. So this is the cost of plumber 2. And they want to know where they cost the same. So here's where they're the same. So now we're going to solve for H and see how many hours that is. So if I subtract nope, don't want to subtract 127.50 because there's no constant over here. I want to subtract the hours. I'm going to get the hours on one side and the constant on the other. And so I'm going to leave that one here. And I like to subtract off the smaller of the two, so I'm working with a positive. So 125 minus 75 is 50 hours. And then it's 127.50. And so then we're going to divide by 50. And when we divide by 50, we find that the number of hours where they charge the same is if it's 2.55 hours. Okay, so here's what I would like for you to do, to think about and to try. Okay, this is a little over 2.5 hours where they charge the same. So what I want you to do is, I want to find out who's cheaper, who is cheaper for anything under 2 hours. Then the other one would be who's cheaper if you go over 2 hours. But work with that and see what you can come up with. And I'll see you tomorrow.